Yo creo que las sanciones son inmorales.
I believe that the sanctions are immoral. That's the first thing. They are cruel, very cruel for a country. And I think that at a round table of conversation, even if it's private, the United States of America, the Biden administration, should accept it as such, should see it as such. And the sanctions are transformed. As the Human Rights Organization says, the special reporter that came to Venezuela for the matter of the sanctions are transformed into a great violation of the human rights of the Venezuelan men and women. Furthermore, not only is it a cruel mechanism that causes suffering to the people, but it's also a failed mechanism. Failed. Because all the sanctions, in an extremist and irrational manner, were applied by the Trump government against Venezuela for a change of regime. And they didn't achieve it. Nor are they going to achieve it. So the sanctions should be recognized as illegal, irrational, extremist, cruel, and they should be lifted.
En su opinión, señor presidente, pero todavía es la política.
In your opinion, Mr. President, but it's still U.S. policy. And it seems to me the U.S. won't change its policy without a change in positions.
Entonces es un juego cerrado, Erik.
Then it's a closed game, Erik, because we have our principles, our Constitution. We have the right to life, to economic freedom, to commercial freedom. Venezuela and the whole world has the right to commercial freedom. There can't be one country that, because of the control of the currency and of the banking system, imposes to the rest of the countries of the world what should happen in their country at a political level, who should govern or who shouldn't govern. If that was established, Erik, it would simply be the end of the United Nations system, the end of the international law. No, the United States must recognize that an international law exists, that a multipolar world exists, that another world exists, and furthermore, it must recognize, sooner than later, that what they are doing with Venezuela is a brutality only comparable to the Vietnam War and the massacre that they committed against the people of Vietnam. They are committing an economic massacre. Venezuela has the right to freedom to produce oil, to sell it, to obtain profits, to fulfill its international obligations, to maintain the life of the people. Venezuela has the right to produce gold and sell it. Why aren't we going to have the right to do that? Why is the right to economic freedom going to be taken away from us? Why? Someday that will. I have faith. I am a man who believes in God very much. I am a man of prayer and of action. And I have the faith that someday that message is going to arrive, and it's going to produce the changes that we need for a better world, a more human world, a world of respect.
Es un problema porque ustedes obviamente no quieren.
That's a problem, because you obviously don't want to live under the sanctions anymore. You're not willing to change anything?
Es que los cambios en Venezuela se producen todos los días.
The changes in Venezuela are produced every day, but there can't be a relationship in the world where I put a gun to your head and I tell you, act the way I want you to, or I'll shoot you. You can't put a gun to the head of the people of Venezuela, so that from the United States, they'd tell us what we need to do. We would turn into a colony. We would turn into a protectorate. We would kneel down. We would betray the magnificent historical legacy of these giants, like Simón Bolívar. No country in the world, no country, and even less so Venezuela, is willing to kneel down and betray its legacy.